Administrator, good to see you. I think we saw you back on December 3rd at your office. I'll get into that in just a bit. You know, I've long been concerned with the SBA's lax work from home policy and what that means for our nation's 33 million small businesses, getting them the help they need when they need it. As it turns out, I share this concern with another former business owner in this town, White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients. Mr. Zients directed every agency to return to their workforce to the office at least 50% of the time. In fact, he required that every department submit an action plan to OMB on January 26. So, Administrator Guzman, following this hearing, we'll be sending a letter requesting that you share this action plan with members of this committee. Can you please comment on what work you have done on this plan so far? Is it complete, and what is your plan?
Yes, the whole of SBA across the country has returned to work. We are seeing that these mission-driven people who work at the SBA, because a lot of them have that very mission tie to
What do you mean return to work, ma'am?
Meaning that we are, have returned to work to the office, correct. Mm-hmm.
So if we go down there today, the desk will be filled.
We're complying with, of course, the standards. The SBA is back 5 days of pay period and across the country at this point.
Because, you know, we attempted to visit the SBA. When I first got on this committee and on the Ag Committee and Armed Services, the first thing I want to do is go meet people, see where they work. And we were told, you can't come down here. Sitting members of Congress, we got in the Pentagon, but we could not get in the USDA, which has 2 million square feet of office space, or the SBA with roughly 290,000 square feet of office space. And because of that, we filed the CABO Act, the Congressional Access to Bureaucratic Offices Act, which mandates that sitting members of Congress and their appropriate staff should be allowed into these agencies, such as yours, which we have oversight. I'm sorry that we had to file that. We got quite a number of sponsors. Our attempt is not to come in and stir up trouble, but we do have oversight of these facilities. And after our December 3rd visit, which was a very nice visit, I think we had a very good discussion, I was told, got a few pictures here of our visit. Here's some of the empty office spaces there at the time. Here's a good shot of you, me, and Jake Elsey on this committee talking. After our December 3rd visit, I was told that SBA employees were directed to consolidate their desk to mask the fact that only 10% of the 295,000 square foot SBA headquarters was being used. Do you have any knowledge of that being true? Did you have what, 7 or 8 floors there?
We have, but we only occupy 2/3 of the building. There are 3 other agencies that also occupy this building. But the floors that we visited were upon request to certain offices. And we have, 50% occupancy on any given day at a minimum. So that's not accurate.
So nothing was staged for our visit there on our Cabo Codell?
No, the only thing that was orchestrated is which offices you wanted to visit, which was Capital Access, Rural, and so we went to certain floors. Actually, we went to the floors that SBA fully occupies.
Yeah. Well, I must say your staff was wonderful to talk with. Look, we've got a lot of work to do together, I think, to help the American people, starting businesses and maintaining the business. I do think it's very important that COVID is over. We've got to get back to work. If we're not going to use these buildings, let's shut them down. Let's consolidate and save money for the American taxpayer. Would you agree with that?
We are looking constantly at our space requirements aligned with our facilities needs. So yes, I align with that completely.
Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi once said, "Show me your budget and I'll show you your values." I've seen your budget. It raises serious doubts about your values. The Office of Veterans Business Development exists to fulfill SBA's mandate to serve our veterans. To fulfill this important duty, you have requested $335,000. That total is about the same as the increase in transit subsidies that you requested. Transit subsidies have risen from $300,000 in 23 to $600,000 in 24 to $900,000 requested now in fiscal year 25. This is despite the SBA's notorious absenteeism. According to a GAO study, less than 10% of your office space is even being used. Now, I know you say that people are starting to come back, but we have to accelerate this. Administrator Guzman, I'm deeply concerned with the values contained within your budgetary request. Thank you, Chairman, and I yield back.